Hello friends, so today we're going to discuss the fourth problem from the latest hash table series I'm working on, and it is also a easy problem, and that's the last easy problem I'm going to do on hash maps, and then we're going to discuss some medium and hard problems. So but it's a good easy problem. So I'll tell you the question statement. The name is isomorphic strings. So you are given two string S and T. Determine if they are isomorphic. So two strings are isomorphic if the characters in S can be replaced to get T. What it means by this is, like, you're given a string S and a T. So if you can replace any character in S to get a character in T, and all the occurrence of the character must be replaced. So what I mean by this here is, if you take E and replace all the occurrence of E in this by A, then you can get this, and if you replace all the G's with D, then you can get this. So if it is possible to replace every character with some new character, or remain it with the same character, such that you can get this T, and you have to replace all the occurrence of this number in this string new. So also, but there is one more catch in this problem, which is that no two characters may map to the same character. What does this mean by this is that no two characters should map to the same character. It should not happen that if I map A to B, then I can again map C to B. So I can tell you with some example. As you can see in this, initially I map A to A. I'll map A to A. Then I come to B, and then because there is B, I'll map B again to A, which is wrong. Because for every character I can map this to single character. I cannot map two characters to the same character. So you have to also keep track of this. So that's the problem statement, and you have to output yes if you can do this operation, convert S to T using these following conditions, else you have to output no or false. So the main trick for this question is, you have to use two maps, or instead you can use a map and a set, whatever you want. So I'll use a map and a set, but you can use two map also. So how you're going to solve this question is, you can make a map, and there's the same example, egg and add. So when you see E and A, so you'll map E to A, which means that whenever I see E, it should map to A only. So I'm mapping E to A. Okay. Then I'm mapping G to D. Okay, so this mapping is inserted in this map. So the map is for character to character. And also I should make this character insert in some set or a map again, which will keep track that this character is already used. We should not use this character again for any another mapping. So before initializing some mapping in the map, I should check that this character to which I am mapping, it should not present earlier. So how I can check that? I can make a set in which I can store all the characters I have already mapped. So I have mapped E to A, I have already mapped G to D. So I'm just insert A and in D in this set, so that if I do a mapping from D to D, before inserting this entry in map, I will check that whether D is in the set. Yes. So I should not insert this in the map, and I will output false, that this is a false string. So if you get the point how we are using two maps, you can also use a map here, or you can use a set, whatever you want. And then we just have to find out whether I can make this possible transition from S to T. So I'll make you more clear with the code itself. So what the code itself here is, what you can see in this question is, I'll make a map and a set. Set is X and map is from character to character. So we'll move from left to right. And what we have to check here is, I've already told you about the count function in the first video. So you can also watch that video if you don't know how to use this count function. This count function will tell us whether a particular entry is present in the map or not. So what you can see here is, I have to check that if I see that there is a mapping from E to A, I should first see that, okay, whether this mapping from E to A already exists in the map or not. If this mapping doesn't exist, how I check? I will find out the count for E, which is S of I. If it is equal to 0, which means that this mapping doesn't exist. If this mapping doesn't exist, then I have to check that, okay, we can insert this mapping in the map because this mapping doesn't exist. But wait, whether this character exists in the set or not. So I can check, I will check this t of I, whether this x dot count t of I is equal to 0, which means that this character should not be in the set also. If this entry is not in the map and this character is not in the set, then only we will, what I'll do, I will insert this entry which is map of s of I equal to ti. So I'm actually making a map entry and also inserting this a in the set. So I'm inserting this a in the set, which is t of I. Else if I see that, okay, this map entry is not there, which means that, okay, e to a mapping is not there, but a already mapped to, as you can see, maybe d in the map. In the map again, d already maps to a and e mapping to a is not present. Okay, I'm fine that e mapping to a is not present in the map, it's fine, but a will already match to d, then I should not insert it because the question statement states that there's only one mapping to every one character. So then I have to return out false. That's what I see, that map of s of I is not there, but x of count, which means that this particular character of ti is present in the set, then I will return out false. And also, okay, if I again see that this map, now I have find out two possibilities in which this entry is not in the map and it is not in the set, it is not in the map and present in the set, and now if it is in the set, which means that if this entry already exists in the set, which means that I have already mapped e to a, then in every other position e should be mapped to a. If it is not mapped to a, then the answer is false. And that's how I'll check if this map of s of I is not equal to t of I, if this is not matching, then the answer is false. Else if all these conditions don't true, this false condition is not met, then the answer is true after we have iterated for all the values. You can write down this code to even make it more clear, and then you can understand how this function works. And this is an easy problem, so you're gonna understand it very quickly if you just understand this problem. So I hope you get the intuition and the code itself for this problem. If you still have any doubts, mention now. Thank you for watching this video. I'll see you next one. Keep coding. Bye.